So every day means a day closer to WrestleMania 37, and we have some new news when it comes to the tickets on sale for WrestleMania 37, and that is WrestleMania 37 tickets are almost sold out just a day after going on sale. WWE's WrestleMania 37 tickets are almost now sold out. The WrestleMania 37 Ticketmaster pre-sale ran on Thursday, and most of the tickets were sold then. Tickets went on sale to the general public on Friday morning and have been moving fast all day. Tickets were still left for night 1 and night 2 after being on sale for 30 minutes on Friday, but only single tickets were left if you wanted to sit in the same seats for both nights. This is according to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. As of 1:15 Eastern Time yesterday, there were just over 1,000 tickets left for each night, with maybe as many as 1,500, but probably less than 2,000. Most of the WrestleMania 37 tickets on Ticketmaster were then gone by 2 p.m, with less than 2,000 total tickets remaining at that point. Now, it was noted by F4WOnline.com that a lot of people apparently purchased tickets for both nights, as at one point the remaining seats were similar for each night. It was also noted that tickets in the front of the hard camera in the bleachers were moved, the tickets rather, that moved the fastest. By late this afternoon, or yesterday afternoon, most of the remaining tickets were the high-priced floor seats or the seats close to the floor, which are priced at several $100s or more. The $1,000 and up tickets were the ones which had the most availability as of yesterday afternoon. WrestleMania 37 combo and single tickets will range from $35 to $2,500. The entry price for the secondary market this year is $67. WrestleMania 37, of course, will take place Saturday, April 10 and Sunday, April 11 from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida. Both nights will be sold out by the time the shows start. Of course, WWE has a capacity of 25,000 fans for each night. So there you go. That's the situation when it comes to WrestleMania and the ticket sales. I know there was lots of people that didn't think WrestleMania, for whatever reason, was going to sell out this year, or there's no chance WrestleMania, it might not sell out, there's a possibility, and all that kind of stuff. Look, regardless of the pandemic, regardless of any time really that they're in, 25,000 fans or not, that will sell out each night for WrestleMania. Regardless of health and safety concerns and regardless of whatever, people will buy tickets to that. I don't think there was any real discussion or any real idea or thought process that, what if they don't sell the tickets? I mean, for me, if I was local to the area of Florida, I don't know if I would still, even myself, feel totally comfortable going to the event because of health and safety concerns, and they have to sign a waiver. And I know that WWE, in fairness to them and to credit them, they do have relatively strict procedures in place for that event. Obviously, they're handing out masks, and there's a mask mandate to attend the event. There's going to be hand sanitizing stations, social distancing, etc. There's going to be temperature checks, medical questionnaires, and all that kind of stuff being done on the day of the event as well. So they are going to be actively encouraging people to socially distance and actively encourage people to try and remain as safe and as healthy as possible at the event. But we're still in a pandemic, of course. We're still in a pandemic, and there still is always going to be a risk and a concern associated with going to any event like this. That's just how it's going to be. So I don't know if I was in the local area, if I would be necessarily totally sold on going, but I don't think it was without a doubt ever going to be in question that 25,000 tickets, 50,000 overall were going to be sold across 2 nights. I don't think that was ever going to be an issue. Obviously, historically, when it comes to WrestleMania, when WrestleMania tickets become available, I mean, you wouldn't have the end of the day and still have WrestleMania tickets available. They tend to go in legitimately like 30 minutes or something ridiculous like that, even for an arena or a stadium that holds 80,000 people or stuff like that. I think occasionally you do have situations where the day of there might be tickets way up in the gods and that kind of thing in the stadium. But if this was, because ultimately that's why they moved to the stadium, back to the stadium shows, because when they used to have the WrestleManias in the likes of Madison Square Garden or the Staples Center or the Allstate Arena in Chicago, I mean, legitimately they would sell out in minutes. Because you've got like 18,000, 20,000, 22,000 fans, they could sell like that in a normal time. So I don't think it was ever in doubt that WrestleMania tickets were going to sell out this year or anything like that. The biggest point of discussion was always going to be the health and safety procedures, the precautions in place, obviously the number of tickets that were going to be made available. And to be honest, I think that was my biggest concern when the numbers of 45,000 each night were kind of banded around. My biggest concern about that was people will buy them. I think frankly, if WWE ran a full stadium show with full capacity, I think they would probably be very close to selling out, even in a pandemic. And I think that goes back to my concern when the 45,000 number was being bandied around, was that people will buy those tickets, people will attend, because for whatever reason there is still a group of people that either don't take the current pandemic seriously, or they don't take the required health and safety precautions seriously. There are people within the company that don't take it seriously, or don't believe it, or are skeptical about it, or try and spread around these conspiracy theories and that kind of ludicrous ridiculousness. But there are people out there, so there are always going to be people that buy those tickets. So it never crossed my mind that WWE wouldn't sell out or anything like that. So I would assume as of right now, we're probably very close to being sold out, as the articles and reports I've mentioned. WrestleMania will be sold out the day of the event. There's no doubt about that. Now, speaking of this ticket promotion, this is something I wanted to talk about as well. Charlotte Flair. Now, Charlotte Flair, of course, has been in the headlines recently because of, obviously, her fiancé, Andrade. Looks like he's preparing for life after WWE. He's requested his release. He's actually trademarked a name that he's going to be using outside of WWE. There's reports he's going to go back to wearing a mask once he's finished with WWE. Doesn't look like WWE is going to grant his release, and he's going to be, the only way he's going to leave WWE is once his contract expires. Now, we don't know when that is, but it looks like Andrade is on his way out. But what is certainly interesting is Charlotte Flair, who at the moment we would assume is scheduled for a high-profile match at WrestleMania against Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Don't think that's been announced yet, but that is the plan. WWE has seemingly removed Charlotte Flair from several WrestleMania 37 promotional graphics. At least it appears to be the case. Now, Flair had been featured on several graphics for WrestleMania 37 tickets, along with Bianca Belair, WWE Hall of Famer Edge, WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks, WWE Champion Bobby Lashley, and rapper Bad Bunny. Damian Priest was also featured on some of the graphics. Now, she was still included on the graphics as of Thursday this week, but now she is no longer featured on the new graphics posted Friday to promote WrestleMania tickets going on sale. Flair was not replaced by any other superstar on the graphics, she was just seemingly removed. Now, it's also interesting to note that WWE had many superstars tweak graphics to promote Thursday's pre-sale, and then tweets again to promote Friday's general on sale. Flair tweeted a graphic for the pre-sale that featured no one but herself, similar to individual graphics that other WWE superstars tweeted, but she did not tweet to promote Friday's on sale. We've got a couple of images when it comes to the before and after of Charlotte Flair seemingly being removed from these graphics, and we'll touch on them in a second. As I mentioned, Flair has not been announced for a WrestleMania 37 match as of yet, but she was rumoured to challenge Raw Women's Champion Asuka. Flair appeared on Raw 2 weeks ago to continue the storyline where she made it known that she wanted to challenge Asuka, but she did not appear on Monday Night Raw this week, on the episode where Asuka returned from an injury. There was no hint on who may challenge Asuka for WrestleMania on this week's show. So let's go into the graphics, because we might be making a whole big deal out of nothing. It's just, this is something that people have picked up. So as you can see here are the Thursday graphics. So here's the WrestleMania sort of general pre-sale graphics, and you can see everyone in there, including Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, she's wedged in between Roman Reigns and Edge, next to Bianca Belair there as well. And obviously, as I mentioned, you can see the likes of Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Bad Bunny, Sasha Banks. They're all in there too. So those were the graphics that we were seeing on Thursday. We've got a couple more. As you can see there, she's in between Bianca Belair and Roman Reigns on the WWE Network's post. On this one, as a 30-minute warning for the pre-sale, it's the same graphic that we saw before. And then finally, this is the graphic that WWE, I don't even think Charlotte Flair probably tweeted this herself. I'm sure it's probably WWE sent this to Flair to tweet, or they actually just logged into her account and tweeted this from Charlotte Flair herself. So as you can see here, it's the Charlotte Flair. She says, quote, "Be the first to get your tickets to WWE's biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. Use pre-sale code QUEEN," and there's the graphic of Charlotte Flair next to the WrestleMania 37 logo. Well, can you see the difference on the Friday graphics that were posted yesterday? So Bobby Lashley, he posted out a tweet. It said, quote, "Don't miss me kicking Drew McIntyre's ass all over Raymond James Stadium. Get your hashtag WrestleMania tickets now," and then sent the link out for the Ticketmaster link. No Charlotte Flair. She previously was in between Edge and Roman Reigns, but I know that's a slightly different graphic. So you can say, well, maybe that's just a different graphic. Maybe that's just slightly different graphic. You're looking into something that isn't there then. Wow, okay. That pretty much is the same graphic. This was tweeted out by Alexa Bliss. That is the same graphic that was used the day prior But there's no Charlotte Flair in there. Again, she would have been sandwiched between Edge and Roman Reigns, and she's not. This was obviously Alexa Bliss tweeting it out. She said, quote, "Trust me when I say you're not going to want to miss out on the biggest two-night event of the year, WrestleMania. Get your tickets now." And once again, this was the WWE official WWE promotional tweet about it, and again, no Charlotte Flair. She was just seemingly removed from in between Edge and Roman Reigns. WWE tweeted, quote, "Hashtag WrestleMania is back in business. Tickets available now at ticketmaster.com/WrestleMania." So the difference between the Friday one was this to this. Again, certainly different, isn't it? Certainly no Charlotte Flair. Now, are we looking too much into something that's not there? Possibly. And again, this is just something that a couple of websites have noticed, and this is just something that a few people have really sort of pointed out and said, well, it feels a bit weird, and maybe you are putting two and two together and making three in this situation. Maybe people are looking too much into it, and maybe it's just a case of they're just different graphics. But a lot of the time when it comes to WWE, they don't do things, and most it's not just a coincidence. It's very rare in WWE things are just a coincidence. And I know that people can say that you're being online sleuths, or you're believing the dirt sheets too much, or believing websites, you're believing reporters too much. I think no one's reporting on anything. I think that's important to say. No one's reporting on anything. People are just pointing stuff out here. And the fact that Charlotte Flair wasn't on Raw this week, the fact that Charlotte Flair suddenly just disappears from these graphics, and the fact that Charlotte Flair, of course, is the fiancée of Andrade, and Andrade has requested his release from WWE. The fact that Charlotte Flair has pitched several times to WWE officials and WWE creative and WWE writers to pair Charlotte Flair and Andrade together on screen, it certainly feels odd. Charlotte Flair is one of the golden children of WWE. She is featured on everything. So much so that Charlotte Flair has only ever competed in championship matches at WrestleMania. That's how serious WWE is about Charlotte Flair. Look back on the history. WrestleMania 32, championship match. WrestleMania 33, championship match. WrestleMania 34, championship match. WrestleMania 35, championship match in the main event. Last year, they didn't have her in the Raw SmackDown Women's Championship matches because they were featuring other people, so they shoehorned Charlotte Flair into challenging for the NXT Women's Championship by having her win the Royal Rumble. That's how much they care about having Charlotte Flair featured prominently for WrestleMania, and that's why she's on all the graphics. That's why she's on all the posters. If there's a WrestleMania poster or a WrestleMania graphic or a WrestleMania drinks cup or a WrestleMania merchandise, Charlotte Flair is always featured on it. So the fact that she isn't, and she suddenly has been removed from it, does feel slightly significant. Now, we could be proved all wrong. This could be a situation whereby she's there on Monday Night Raw, she challenges Asuka, and then they go, yep, Charlotte Flair's facing Asuka at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. Or this could be a situation where Charlotte Flair says, look, grant Andrade, my fiancée, a release. This is BS. Or I've asked you time and time again to do something with us on camera, on screen. I've asked you, I've pitched all these ideas, and instead you're just having this guy sit at home being miserable. What are you doing? Either let him go or use him. And maybe, this is a really difficult situation for her. And ultimately, I think she probably knows her status. Charlotte Flair is pretty bulletproof, let's be honest here. She is the daughter of Ric Flair, a WWE Hall of Famer and professional wrestling icon. WWE obviously is in love with everything that Charlotte Flair does, and rightfully so, frankly. I mean, she's a tremendous in-ring performer and a tremendous wrestler and a tremendous character. People can complain about her, and I always say this about Charlotte Flair, I don't think it's her fault. All of the heat that she seemingly has from fans of being in all of those championship matches at WrestleMania, that's not her fault. What's she supposed to say? No. Oh yeah, don't put me in that championship match. Don't put me in the main event. You just say thank you. It's WWE's fault that, a bit like the Roman Reigns syndrome, they just try and, force it down people's throat, and they shoehorn it into situations where it's not necessary. That's not Charlotte Flair's fault. But she knows her worth, and she is very, very valuable to WWE, probably more than she's ever been, considering the people that aren't available to WWE right now, like Becky Lynch, like Ronda Rousey. Yes, they still do have stars like Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Bayley, etc., Asuka. But Charlotte Flair obviously is very much needed, and not having Charlotte Flair on WWE television or not having Charlotte Flair in WWE would be a massive, massive problem. a massive problem to WWE. She knows her worth, and if they want to get political about it, she knows what she offers WWE. And if she wants to do a bit of a political power play, then it certainly would be interesting. So again, maybe we're looking too much in something that isn't there, but it's certainly something worth discussing, and certainly something that could potentially blow up into a far bigger story in the coming days. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But of course, as always, it's just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on WrestleMania 37 tickets nearly being sold out and Charlotte Flair seemingly, possibly, being removed from WrestleMania 37 ticket graphics? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community, drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Go to the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or have you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.